During my hospital stay, my girlfriend took care of me like she was defusing a bomb. Painstaking, meticulous, every little thing. Even the lady in the next bed kept nudging us, "When's the wedding already?" I just waved her off, annoyed. It's just for fun. Why the hell would we get married? What Willow didn't know was I'd already caught her red-handed. She'd activated couple mode in some game with a guy saved in her phone as Makoto. Caught it last night when she forgot to lock her phone while grabbing me a glass of water. Chapter 1. The day I got discharged, the city got slammed by the biggest snowstorm of the year. Willow looped the scarf she'd knitted herself around my neck, grinning like a maniac, calling me a pig-headed fool. I frowned but kept my mouth shut. She tilted her head, slid her arm through mine, and asked what was wrong. I stared into those starry eyes of hers, dumbfounded. How could she cheat on me and still act all gentle and virtuous? Chapter 2. Willow's WeChat moments? Full of me. Because of my chronic gastritis, this pampered girl who'd never lifted a finger for housework learned to cook all sorts of stomach-soothing dishes. Every time I came home reeking from business dinners, she'd grumble but still hand me porridge she'd made earlier. She was gentle, considerate, remembered all my quirks, handling every detail so I could just focus on my battles outside. Last month, I had to go to the Northeast with a client. She couldn't come, 'cause of school, but she still spent half an hour on the phone reminding me to stay safe. My friends teased, calling her sister-in-law and love-brained. And yet, this same person had herself bound in a couple relationship on a game with some guy I didn't even know. Up to today, it had been 147 days. Chapter 3. I don't know why, but I suddenly craved spicy diced chicken hot pot, the fiery stuff my stomach hated. Willow talked me down and made porridge instead. I sat at the table, watching her busy in the kitchen. Out of nowhere, I said, "Hey, we haven't gamed together in ages. How about I log in tonight and carry you a few rounds?" She froze for a split second, then smiled, poking me. "Sure, hubby. What made you want to play today?" Truth? I hadn't touched a game in 2 or 3 years. Work had sucked up all my time and energy, and every time I opened a game, I felt raw impatience. Those days of gaming with Willow felt like a distant dream, beautiful, blurry. Now I was even more annoyed, 'cause Willow was using an alt account with me. After we lost a match, I tossed my phone on the sofa. She just smiled softly. "Hubby, you did great. I'm the noob. Wanna do something else?" After food and drink, she curled up next to me on the sofa. Her breath brushed my ear, her hair still damp, smelling of shower gel. I instinctively pushed her away. She raised an eyebrow, surprised, but still nuzzled me, telling me to sleep early. Chapter 4. Next day, I didn't wake Willow, just went to work. At noon, she texted me twice. "You just got out of the hospital, don't eat anything raw or cold. I ordered seafood millet porridge for you. Finish it all, okay? Were you in a bad mood yesterday? After work, let's catch a movie, we haven't done that in ages." I locked my phone, stomach twisting. Got off work on time and drove to her school. No words, just took her straight to the cinema. She looped her arm through mine like nothing was weird. Halfway through, her phone buzzed. "Urgent matter at school," she said and walked out. I nodded, told her I'd head home after the movie, but followed her. Luckily she was on foot. Destination, hospital next door. In the crowd, her figure was easy to spot. And then a guy rushed out of a department, scooped her into his arms. Willow didn't resist. She turned her head aside, letting him hold her. Chapter 5. I got home later than Willow. She sat at the table, head tilted, watching me. Didn't feel like explaining a damn thing. I walked past and she grabbed my sleeve. "Hubby, what's up these days? You look stressed." "Something at work." She went on tiptoe, arms around my neck, about to kiss me. But the image of that man flashed in my mind. I jolted, shoved her away. "Go shower," I said, disgust dripping from my tone. She didn't even bat an eye, tossed me a flirty wink as she left. Willow, she's pretty lax about guarding herself. Her phone wasn't locked. I went through WeChat again. Yesterday she had logged into a gaming alt with me, but this time I found another hidden WeChat app. Logged in, there was an account, mostly empty, just a few contacts, pinned chat at the top with someone named Makoto. And Makoto had just sent a message. Willow, I'm sincere. I want to be with you, through autumn, winter, heat, or cold. Not just saying, I love you, through a screen. Willow, when will you lay it all on the table with your boyfriend? Goosebumps crawled up me. I scrolled through their chat. So much they said in a single day that Willow and I hadn't even said in a month. A month ago, I was in the Northeast with a client. She couldn't come, spent half an hour on the phone making sure I stayed safe. That day was Makoto's birthday. They went to the cat cafe we'd visited, saw the big orange tabby. Someone snapped a photo, Willow smiling, cradling the kitten, Makoto staring at her like she was the only person on earth. My hands and feet went cold. Every little thing she'd shared with me, she'd shared with him too. School frustrations, loneliness, gaming, voice notes full of whining and charm. Even a new plant in her office, sent to him. The tutoring students, she mentioned, mostly dates with that dude. I clutched my stomach and crouched down. Gastritis flaring again. The bathroom water stopped. The door opened. Willow's voice anxious. Hubby, what's wrong? Stomach hurting again? Need the hospital? She crouched to help me up, shower gel scent flooding my nose, easing the pain a bit. I stared down at her phone, face down by luck. Last message I saw. Makoto brother, I actually stopped liking you a long time ago. The one I like is you. Chapter 6. My parents always stuffed me with food, so I developed a weird habit. Binge eating under pressure. High school? Stress city. Gained over 30 pounds. Became target number 1 for ridicule. Got it, everyone needs a punching bag. When they tossed my bag around like a basketball, I snapped. Enough pressure released that they had to take a 3-month leave. After that, no one dared touch me, except Willow. We met as freshman reps, her, the girls' rep, blazing sun, me, the boys, barely a spotlight. She had grades, beauty, friends, admirers as countless as fish in a river. Yet we ended up in the same cram class, scores constantly compared. Gradually we got familiar. Class gossip? Look, your husband, giggles all around. Well, never joined in. When did I fall for her? Probably that evening in cram class. She hugged her books, sat next to me, summer heat thick. Checked scores. You beat me by 1 point. Top student. Lend me that brain. She didn't know I'd peeked at her university preferences, crunched numbers, made secret wishes, all to end up at the same university. Graduation party. Rich guy confesses. I sit quiet, thinking she'd pick him. She didn't, turned him down gently. Back in the private room, sitting alone, she finds me, props her chin on her hand, eyes half squinting. I like you. Wanna give us a try? Chapter 7. After we got together, I asked why she picked someone ordinary like me. She just laughed, wagged her finger. Not a chance. You'll always shine brilliantly in my eyes. Willow's peculiar. Morality? Paper thin. Full of offbeat ideas. Cheating? Not shocking. After dating, I lost weight, trained social skills, even got attention in uni clubs. Freshman orientation? A junior confessed. I turned her down. Loyalty first. Well, not so much. Middle of the night, I eat the last steak, gripping the fork. Binge eating habit still there. Scale dropping slowly, whatever, surgery perk. The messages I read that night? Still vivid. I snort coldly. Willow didn't come home. I call her. Where are you? Just off work, heading home. Miss me? Her voice hoarse. If I hadn't checked with her coworkers, no class today, I might have believed her. So, she went to see Makoto again. I said evenly, Willow, I'll come to you. Maybe it was my tone. She fell silent for a sec. Then she spoke again, a hint of a laugh in her voice. She dropped the location and at the end reminded me, it's cold outside, dress warm and be careful. Chapter 8. The school where Willow teaches isn't far from our place. You can walk there. The streets are almost empty at night, only near the school do you see a bit of everyday hustle. Willow was waiting at the entrance to that night market. She wore an off-white trench coat, makeup flawless, features sharp, strikingly cool. She's always stood out. Thinking back, she was never this settle-down quietly type. I rehearsed what I wanted to say in my head a few times and walked toward her. But out of nowhere, she dove into my arms and nuzzled me. She pouted and said, "Hubby, look at your frown. How bad is it? Seeing me doesn't make you happy?" Willow, do you actually know why I'm unhappy? Dappled lights flickered across her brows, her eyes hazy, smoke curling and intertwining. Everything in my head scrambled. Is life just a movie spliced together, scene after scene, with no clue when or how the crash hits? When sparks flew, Willow called my name. That day, I remember clearly, I went to her to break up. That day, I remember clearly, she lied about tutoring just to sneak off on a tryst with that guy, Makoto. Willow said she'd stopped liking me long ago. When that runaway cargo truck barreled toward us, the one who shoved me out of the way instinctively was her. That spreading pool of blood stabbed my eyes like needles. I practically lost it, crawling over to check her injuries, but she blinked at me and said, "As long as you're okay." What I really wanted to say was, "Willow, tell me, staying with one person from start to finish, is it really that damn hard?" Chapter 9. Willow's injuries were way worse than I thought. With that much blood, how the hell did she even open her eyes the next morning unscathed? She was taken to the ICU, slept for 2 or 3 days straight. During that time, I finally managed to unlock her phone. Fingerprint unlock. Bless that invention. I couldn't stop reading their chat. Every line, every teasing, every flirt. It felt like a knife carving into my chest. While Willow lay unconscious, that guy bombarded her with messages. "A flower shop just opened downstairs. See anything you like? Ms. Liu, don't forget to give me that extra lesson this afternoon. Hey, why aren't you answering me? You there, Willow? What happened? I went to your school but couldn't find you." At night, I lay on the attendant's cot in the hospital, scrolling that chat over and over. He was still blowing up her phone. Halfway through, I bolted to the restroom and puked. Fuck you, Willow. The young nurse who did rounds every day said I looked wrecked and suggested a full physical while I was there. When I came back with the report, I saw a tall, skinny dude outside Willow's room. Sometimes you can feel misfortune coming. Without thinking, I called out his gamer tag. He froze. There aren't many places near the hospital to talk, but we found a ramen shop. 3 or 4 in the afternoon, empty as hell. He propped his forehead on one hand, listlessly stirring noodles. "What's your name?" I asked. "Makoto." He shot back, already on edge. "You're the one who plays games with Willow all the time, right?" "Yeah." "So what? You know Willow is my girlfriend, don't you?" He shrugged. "Didn't know." "So what?" The next second, I stood up and slapped him across the face. Each word spelled out. "So what? This daddy just smacked you, to teach you a lesson. Still pretending? You think I haven't seen your chat logs?" I'd lost weight lately but still outweighed this beanpole. He wilted instantly, eyes darting. "Feelings are messy, bro, calm down. I believe if you love someone, you shouldn't hold her back from someone better. Besides, it's not like you two are married. A scumbag and a slut, you two are perfect for each other." I sneered. He came back with, "Then bro, why not just hand her over to me? I can handle her personality." My anger fizzled. I almost laughed at his nerve. My stomach felt like it was on fire. I clenched my fists. He scooted back. The results of my physical flashed through my mind. After a pause, I bowed my head and said calmly, "Fine. When Willow wakes up, tell her yourself. She's yours." Chapter 10. Makoto probably never expected me to cave so fast. By coincidence, just as we got back, the doctor told me Willow had woken up. Makoto nearly sprinted over and Willow, sharp as ever, must have known the moment she saw the two of us together. With Makoto standing between us, she and I locked eyes in silence. She's always looked at people with a trace of adoration, still felt like I was the only one in her world. A thin beam of light slipped through the floorboards. I drew a quiet breath. "Willow, let's break up." A very, very long silence. She showed no shock, just smiled faintly. It really is important to wipe your phone before something goes wrong. That's Willow for you. Back in high school, I'd have lost it, slapped her, broken Makoto's legs, demanded answers. But now, I simply turned away, in silence. Behind me, she asked calmly, since we've broken up, can we still be friends? I shook my head and pushed open the ward door. Willow didn't know, there's no later for me. Chapter 11. It was Willow's 4th day in the hospital, 6 hours before she'd wake up, 20 minutes before she'd see Makoto, when I got my own test results. I chalked the constant stomachaches up to post-surgery aftereffects. The nurse who kept saying I looked pale had caught me vomiting violently in the restroom at midnight. Early-stage tumors have no symptoms. Pain only hits in middle or late stages. I never imagined a growth had rooted just below my stomach. In the half-lit consulting room, my hands and feet went numb. Wait, doctor, are you sure? I read on Google that. He frowned. Did you come alone? I'm not trying to scare you. I'll be blunt, we found this too late. If you don't treat it seriously now, you may have only a few months. Get admitted right away. Call your family and decide quickly, surgery or conservative care. I must have stood there forever. He finally sighed, patted my shoulder and added, don't panic. Our hospital specializes in this. Plenty of success stories. I spent the whole morning on a corridor bench. Why hadn't the last operation caught this? But, I mean, haven't I had enough trouble? Does heaven want to strip me of the right to live? The doctor asked if I had family. My mom passed a year after I graduated college. Relatives tore each other apart over granddad's estate. All the years since, I'd been with Willow. Willow was right. Passion burns out. That's why she stopped loving me. Maybe we'd been together so long we forgot what love even is. People hustling down the hall, my existence here felt like a luxury. I hadn't thought of my mom in ages, yet now her face seemed right before me. Take me with you, please take me with you. I broke down bawling in the corridor. A middle-aged lady handed me a tissue, laid a gentle hand on my shoulder. It's all right, young man, don't cry, she whispered. My boy is 11. We fought and he swallowed thumbtacks to kill himself. I regret it now, so many things. At least I shouldn't have acted on impulse. See? Everyone suffers. That's why you gotta cherish the people in front of you. I clenched the report. Who do I even have left? I remembered a day when Willow and I argued about who would die first. She wanted to go first, couldn't bear life alone. I joked I'd probably drop first. She burst into tears. I'm yours until you die. I'll stay by your side forever. I drifted down the hospital stairs toward her room. How absurd, even now, even after she cheated, my reflex was to see if she had woken to ask which treatment plan I should choose. But that day, standing on the stairwell, staring at the man outside her room, I understood painfully, Willow was no longer mine. Chapter 12. When the last leaf of autumn fell, Willow broke up with Makoto. Felt like nothing to her, yet Makoto was on the verge of losing it. Lowering her gaze, Willow blocked the spam. A car horn blared. She looked up at the bustling night market. Suddenly, she remembered. 2 years earlier she had shoved George aside to save him from a car accident. 2 years since he walked out of her life. Willow never doubted her love for George. Her feelings burned fiercer than ever when she loved him. Even after the breakup, turmoil refused to settle. She'd hated him once, but it was still George who haunted her thoughts. She ended things with Makoto. She knew winning George back would hurt, but she wanted to try. Had he been well these years? Was his stomach still acting up? Did he still skip breakfast, stay out late drinking? In every lonely night, she caught herself thinking of him. Even when looking at Makoto, her mind was full of George. Willow always followed impulses. If she loved George, she had to reach out. She tried to add him on WeChat, but request never accepted. His profile pic and name were different. Back when they broke up, George had blocked her everywhere, left decisively. She remembered. That day, she asked if they could still be friends. George shook his head. Winning him back would be hard, but she believed she might not fail. After all, she knew her own strengths and George's weaknesses. Honestly, men can't resist a pretty woman crying. They're easy to handle. Act cutesy, pitiful, and he aches for her smile, totally smitten. WeChat failed. She tried other ways. Apparently, George moved away, and oddly, none of her best girlfriends had heard from him either. She finally added one of George's old friends on WeChat. That person cursed her out and blocked her again. Spend the rest of your life drowning in regret, you filthy bitch. Willow rolled her eyes. She didn't believe it. As long as she could see George again, there was still hope. She knew him too well. His tastes, preferences, exactly how to charm him until he lost it. So much etched into her bones, she never stopped thinking of him. Willow refused to believe George had forgotten her. It happened at a Saturday high school reunion. Idle chatter, old stories. Willow couldn't hold her liquor. After 2 drinks, she propped her head on her hand, bored. Then she heard George's name. She snapped up. Hey, remember that old classmate? Someone sighed. Such a pity, he died so young. Yeah, I went to his funeral earlier this year. Stomach cancer, I think. So tragic. His parents were gone too. All alone. So young. Stomach cancer. Funeral. The words hit her like a blow. Alien. Unbelievable. She sprang to her feet. Every gaze on her. Head buzzing, alcohol, mishearing, maybe same name. George was gone. How could that be? Had he died a year ago? Would she never see him again? Death, did it mean never again in this lifetime? She tore through the world, possessed, hunting for any proof George was still alive. She wanted proof that people were straight up lying to her, that everything was fake, just some messed up joke they'd all cooked up. But there was nothing. Never. All she found was an address, and a goddamn headstone. The wind hissed across lonely hills, mountains high, rivers far. By the time she finally turned to chase after them, the departed were gone. Even a single, "I'm sorry," came too late. Memories hit her like a tidal wave. The tiniest stray emotions swelled into something massive and crushing. She knelt at his grave from sunrise to sunset. But ashes scattered to nothing. Forgiveness? Not a chance. There was no one left to hear her. She hadn't just lost him, she'd been tossed aside too. So she locked herself in her apartment and drowned herself in drink after drink. Only when the booze dulled her brain could she see him, the man crouching in front of her, ruffling her hair. "You're such a freak," he said. "You were the first to fall out of love. So why the hell are you crying now?" After that, Willow spiraled. It seemed only when those shady dudes toyed with her did she taste a fleeting hint of absolution. They dragged her out drinking every damn night, and her tolerance? Abysmal. One day, she threw up again, staggered into the bathroom, and stared at the woman in the mirror. For a long time. Then she lifted the bottle and smashed the glass. Her reflection shattered into thousands of shards. Shaking, she whispered, "Why, Willow? Why can't you just stay loyal to one guy? Why'd you have to leave George? Why'd you think he'd always forgive you no matter what?" Only later did she realize she'd never stopped loving him. Some loves sink into your marrow. Leaving him had been effortless. Losing him now hurt so much she could barely breathe. Suddenly, she grabbed a shard from the floor. Facing the broken mirror, she carved a huge X across her lips. Blood streamed down instantly. Even the men who'd brought her there freaked out. "Shit," they cursed, rushing her to the hospital. Chapter 13. Later, she pushed herself even further. Even with a mask covering her mouth, her face still radiated danger and allure. One guy pinched her disfigured lips and said, "I like you like this." Booze and debauchery became her life's soundtrack. She tried desperately to forget things. When she couldn't, she drowned them in whatever she was doing. Rumor had it that as long as a guy looked like George, she'd hop on a plane to any corner of the country. That frenzy numbed her, until one day it came back like a burst dam. Every guy seemed to have George's face, but none of them were him. The moment she spotted one of those familiar faces, nausea slammed her. She ran to the bathroom, puked until the world went black. Chapter 14. When Makoto found Willow, she'd locked herself inside, drinking. She opened the door, reeking of booze, eyes sweeping him up and down, rolling her eyes, trying to shut the door. Only Makoto blocked it with his hand, arms folded. If I hadn't come, how much longer were you planning to keep sinking like this? He asked. Even in her wrecked state, Willow radiated a warning. Strangers, stay the hell out. She relaxed her brows, let out a mocking laugh. Are you done yet? Grinding his teeth, Makoto shot back. Done? Willow, you were with me for 2 years. How long were you with him? And you'd ruin yourself like this for a dead guy? What does he have that I don't? Why are you so hopelessly hung up? Willow stared, silent. Finally, dripping with impatience, she lifted a hand. Come in. One glance told Makoto she still lived in the apartment she'd shared with George. Nothing had changed, except the table was littered with overturned glasses. Makoto, do you know why I added you that day in the game? Willow's voice was low, ghostly. George probably doesn't even remember, she said. When we first played that game, the very first username he registered was Makoto. I'd fought with him that day, so calling you Makoto felt like calling him. By then I didn't love him as much. To me, you were a brand new version of him. That's why I found you more interesting. Fury erupted in Makoto. Next second, his palm cracked across her face. You filthy bitch, he snarled. Makoto remembered the first time he'd met George, how George had claimed Willow. Now he had to ask himself, had he been that man's stand-in for 3 years? The answer was obvious. He thought he'd won. But in the end, who was laughing? A dead man. Seeing Makoto lose it, Willow pretended to pull her phone to call the cops. Panicked, he bolted. Curses echoed behind the door. Willow stared at her reflection. Today was important. She didn't want anyone disturbing her. Chapter 15. Christmas Eve. Streets were alive with festive energy. Willow stepped out for the first time in half a month, showered, made up, dressed to the nines. December 24th, the day they officially got together. City lights glowed, neon everywhere, everyone paired up. She walked down the street, suddenly bumped into someone. Miss, you're so beautiful. Didn't your boyfriend get you flowers? Here, take this. A little boy shoved a big bouquet into her arms. Willow froze. If only they were from George. If only he were here. A wave of guilt hit her. Then a girl's voice cut through. Hi, excuse me, can I buy those flowers? Sweet smile, bun hairstyle, instantly likable. My boyfriend's a jerk. Didn't get me flowers. I want to pretend someone else gave them to me, just to mess with him. But nowhere's open tonight. Willow, dazed, handed over the bouquet, not expecting money. But the girl stuffed a red bill in her hand. After thanks, she walked off. Willow stood still. George had done this too once. She remembered sulking when he forgot the day, but then opened her fridge to find it packed with roses. In that moment, she loved George so much she could die for him. Insane. She found another nightclub, drank like crazy. No matter how much, her tolerance never improved. Just threw up. But drunk enough, she could see him. Now, a man looking just like him walked by. She bolted after him, panicked. But the crowd swallowed him. Another hallucination. Wrong people this time. Hey, you blind or what? A burly man yanked her arm. A group dragged her into an alley. Outside, the world was loud, cheerful. No one noticed the violence. You got money? Hand it over, sugar mama, the man sneered. He rummaged through her bag. Only a ring. Her eyes snapped open. George's gift. The only thing left from him. She tried to grab it. He dangled it, mocking her. She struggled. They kicked and punched. Drunk, out of control, she lashed out. Finally, she curled on the ground, clutching the ring. Cheap metal. Worthless. Tossed like trash. But she held it like it was gold. Someone muttered, "Shit, she's not dead, is she?" Another, "Forget it. Let's bounce." The group ran off. Willow felt every organ ache. Thought she was dying. Then laughed. Winter's cruel like that. If she just lay there, would she wake up? Nobody cared. Parade floats rolled by, music and laughter echoing. She didn't know. Across the street, a man coaxed a girl holding flowers. All right, I'll stop teasing you. Guess where I got these? Who gave them to you? Willow. I think she used to be your ex. Oh, She came too, the man said, scratching his head. She still seems to love you, but probably thinks you're dead. She ain't doing well. He shrugged. It all started with my friend wanting to mess with her. Then the whole gang got involved, making it look like I was dead. Joke's on me. But hey, I survived. Even if she dies, I won't. Doctors said it was a miracle. More afraid they'd curse me. Whatever. Well, she's not my problem anymore. People move on. Honestly, after all she went through, she doesn't matter to me. He yawned, threw his arm around the girl's shoulder. Come on, baby, stop fussing. Let's hit the car, I got a little surprise for you. Clock struck midnight. Snow fell softly. Stars glittered. Neon lights sparkled. Bells jingled. Another year began.